Hey, Miss Garcia, it's me again. My bed is made this time, and today I'm going to be discussing the 7 husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I'm going to read the back of it first. Reclusive Hollywood icon Evelyn Hugo is finally ready to tell the truth about her glamorous and scandalous life. But when she chooses unknown magazine reporter Monique Grant to write her story, no one is more astounded than Monique herself. Determined to use this opportunity to jumpstart her career, Monique listens in fascination, from making her way to Los Angeles in the 1950s to leaving show business in the 80s, and of course the 7 husbands along the way. Evelyn unspools a tale of ruthless ambition, unexpected friendship, and a great forbidden love. But as Evelyn's story nears its conclusion, it becomes clear that her life intersects with Monique's own in tragic and irreversible ways. So, I feel like this book, okay, out of 5 stars, I'm gonna give it a 3.5. I feel like this book hyped up the plot twist so much, and then it was like the littlest plot twist ever. Let me start from the beginning. So basically, it's set in a modern day New York City, and the main character is this girl named Monique Grant. She is how do I explain it? She's mixed. She talks about being mixed like one time, or I think it comes up twice. It comes up once in the beginning and once in the end. But like once in the end doesn't even pertain to her. Pertains to her father. Yeah, she's mixed. She is going through a divorce with her husband David, who she married for like a year. I think they were married for a year and then they called it quits. So yeah, like she was like crying in her apartment in like the first 20 pages. And what else? I think that's really all I need to know. Oh, biggest thing, she is a magazine like writer, not editor, but writer. So magazine writer for, what is her company name? I have no idea what her company name is. I know she doesn't write for the New York Times. Vivant. Short for Vivant. And she's like really an ambitious person, and she really wants to become like higher up in the like level of editing. So yeah, I don't know how else to explain that better. Like she works for a publishing company that writes magazines, and she writes articles about stuff. So her boss Frankie is like kind of like this mean lady that, you know, is like very determined. She's very harsh. She's like the Capricorn of the book. And she's very determined. She's very mean. And one day, it actually starts off, okay, well, the book starts off talking about Evelyn Hugo. They start off talking about how she's auctioning off her famous gowns from the 50s through the 80s, and everybody's going like crazy. And one day Vivant gets a call saying that they want one of their editors to come and or did they ask? Somehow it was arranged that that one of them was going to, or in this case Monique, she gets chosen later on, but one of them was going to go and do an article about her dresses. And they chose Monique Grant because like in the book, oh, I just saw this is nice. But anyways, in the book, it's like there's like an email where it's like it's Monique or nothing. Like that's what Evelyn said about like to do like a review on her dresses and like how she feels about auctioning off her famous dresses. Like it's really like dramatic. So Monique's like, what? Like, why me? Right? And then Frankie's like, you're gonna go in there and you're gonna secure the bag and you're gonna do it right. And then she's like, maybe I'll think about giving you a promotion if you like do this good. And then Monique's like, okay, like let me go do it. So she goes to her apartment. She meets Evelyn's assistant Grace, who literally has absolutely nothing to do with the story, and I feel like it's just like a plot filler. My hair's annoying me, I'm gonna put it up. But I feel like it's just a plot filler, honestly. Like, I feel like Grace's entire character, she's the assistant of Evelyn Hugo, and she literally appears in the story like twice. But the first time she shows up, she is introduced with like the hugest plot, like the hugest entrance. Like, she gets a full description. She doesn't just get like a woman and with black hair. Like, no, like she is introduced, which is why like it bumps it down for me, because like it makes things seem so relevant, and then it never kind of pays off in the end. They made Grace such a relevant character, never paid off. She kind of just left like in the end, and then like they made another thing relevant. But yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself. So we meet Grace, her assistant, and like I just realized I'm like staying on track this time. My last book talk, I was all over the place. I'm staying on track this time. Okay. So she introduces herself. I'm Grace, her assistant, blah, blah, blah. And she takes you to the back to meet Evelyn. And Evelyn comes and she's like, hey, I don't want to do the story about the dresses. And then Monique's like, what? Why am I here then? And she's like, I want to do an autobiography on my life, and I want you to write it. So, Monique's like, what? Like, why do you want me to write an autobiography in your life? Like, am I going to get my raise? Like, she's asking all these questions, and Evelyn's like, no, I'm not going to do the dress thing, but I want you to ghostwrite my autobiography. I'm going to tell you about my entire life, and you're going to sit there and take notes, and then you're going to write about it after I'm dead. And Monique's like, after you're dead? And she's like, yeah, I'll be gone before you finish this. Like, I'm going to be dead. And she's like, what? So like she's super confused, and this goes on for like 10 pages about them just like going back and forth about the deal that she's asking. She's asking that she writes her autobiography, and she'll get like she'll get like millions of dollars for it, for like her book. And like she'll be so rich, and Monique's like, I'll get to quit my job, like blah blah blah, like I won't have to work again. And Evelyn's like, yeah, you're gonna have to quit your job. And Monique's like, no, I can't just lay myself down on the line for you, because like Evelyn asks her to quit her job. She's like, I can't just lay my life like on the line for you. And she's like, Monique is like, you can't, like, if you can't guarantee when this book is gonna be out, and why I'm doing this, then I can't guarantee you that I'm gonna quit my job, and I'm not gonna do this and that. So Evelyn's like, you know what, fine, just listen to what I have to say, and then we have a deal. It was a very weird deal at first. Like, there wasn't any like contract. There was no contract. There's like, I want you to write my autobiography, but you can't tell anybody. Oh yeah, she can't tell anyone that she's writing her autobiography. And if she tells her publishing company that she's not writing the article for them, she's writing the autobiography for herself, so she can get money. Obviously she's gonna get fired, and nobody's gonna want to take her back. So she's keeping it a secret from everybody. And this is another thing about the book. I feel like they kind of just added Monique's personal life into this for no reason. I think my laundry machine is going off. But I think like they added her personal life into this as if it made a relevant addition to the book. I think because like the book is so centered around Evelyn that it makes no sense to have other characters. It feels like okay, so you know like those like two perspective books, like The Sun Is Also a Star, it has like, you know, two perspectives. That makes sense because like they're both the main characters. But Evelyn is not the main character in the way that she should be, and Monique is the main character in the way that she should not be. It doesn't make sense, but I'll talk about that later. So they make the deal, and she starts talking about her life. So let's get into it. First husband, right? Well, okay. First she talks about like her life growing up from like 1 to 14. She was abused by her father, and like she never really had a good life. She lived in a really grimy part of New York. It was very, very, very bad. I can't remember what it was called. It was called Hell's Kitchen. She was raised, you know, it was the 50s. So it's called Hell's Kitchen. It's very grimy. She's, you know, not very loved, doesn't have any friends. Her mom died when she was very young. And It starts with okay, this is what I like about the book. I like how it goes through all her 7 husbands and it adds like, what is it? You're gonna be real mad at me. I think it's an adjective. It's an adjective. A noun? I don't know. It adds like a word before each name. It's like poor Ernie Diaz. And then the other one is a word I can't say, Don Adler. And then, where's the other one? The Don one was really long. Where's the other one? Oh my god, why is my dad yelling? Give me 1 second. 1 second, 1 second. Okay. Gullible McReva. Okay, so like, I think those are adjectives. I don't know. But yeah, okay, so we start on poor Ernie Diaz, okay? That, all I just explained happened in that part of the book. Okay, so we're starting with poor Ernie Diaz. Ernie Diaz was Evelyn's first husband. She met him because they were next door neighbors, and she was 14, and he was 20, and they got married. She had sex with him, and he was like, let's get married. And, you know, this is what, like, Evelyn planned, because she wanted to be an actress. So she planned it out that she would like coerce Ernie into taking her to Hollywood, and then she would divorce him. But like, she felt bad about it once she like got to Hollywood, and then she ended up leaving him like 2 years. I think they were married for 2 years. 2 years later, she like felt bad about it, but you know, she was like, but that's the price. But like she said she felt bad, but it was like the sociopath kind of I feel bad. So yeah, so that was her first husband. Very like, I guess, insignificant. It was one of the ones it was the one that I remembered, but it's only because it was her first husband. But yeah, so I feel like that's like the introduction to her using her body to get what she wants, and like the introduction of like the entire plot of the book just being her like being like a sex object to the public eye, and like a really descriptive ways in the book, and like her using that to like get what she wants. But it wasn't even the fact that like she could get what she wanted with it. It's just that people saw her as it and nothing else. And I don't know, the whole thing kind of made me uncomfortable. But then we have a word I can't say, Don Adler. This is her second husband that she met on set of, I think it was Little Women. Was it Little Women? Let's see. They met on set of Little Women, and they were so in love. And she also met Celia St. James on the set of Little Women, who was like a year younger than her, and she was very ambitious, just like her. She's a redhead. She grew up in a very privileged, it's like wealthy household because her parents were actors and actresses. So she meets both of these very important characters in this little chunk. So when Little Women premieres, everybody loves it, and Dawn and Evelyn, you know, they get together and they get married. And throughout this, Celia and Evelyn become good friends because Celia feels like they could benefit off of each other's relationship. Evelyn could give Celia, you know, acting advice because Celia's, you know, a little bit newer than she is. She could give her acting advice, and Celia could give her like actual acting classes because Celia's like, I can act better than you, but you know the business better than I do, so I can give you acting classes and you can give me acting advice. So that's how their relationship started, and her and Dawn are married. Evelyn and Dawn are married. As far as Evelyn's career, she's getting very famous because of Little Women, and she starts being friends with the producer of her Sunset Studios company, Harry Cameron. She starts being friends with him. So like a lot progresses in the chapter of her life where she's married to Don Adler. It's a pretty big chunk of her life, and then he starts hitting her. So I had a feeling this was coming, especially because this is set in the 50s. Like, this marriage was set in the 50s. I had a feeling that it was coming. There's something in my eye. But yeah, he starts hitting her, and she doesn't tell anybody at first, but she ends up divorcing him. Actually, no. he divorces her. I'm pretty sure. There's something in my eye, and it's really like taking my eye out right now. Yeah, Dawn filed for divorce. Dawn, Dawn filed for divorce. From Evelyn, Hugo. But why did they get divorced? Because why did he divorce her? I'm confused. Wait, but why did they fight? I think that they fought. I think they fought. Yeah, I think they fought like really bad. Oh my god, I took like a minute just trying to find that. I think they fought, and then he filed for divorce against her, and then she made out with Celia in a closet while she was married to Dawn, and it's like really explicit. And then next comes the words. They're not coming out of my mouth correctly. That's so embarrassing. Next comes gullible McReba. So yeah, that's like a lot happened. That's very important to the plot. So she marries McReba, who is McReba? That's a good question. Celia St. James won an Oscar. She won an Oscar. And they're like officially dating, but like it's the 50s, so like they can't, when they write to each other, they can't use the name. So Evelyn goes by Edward, and I think Celia goes by her real name, Cece, but like, you know, Evelyn calls her Cece. But yeah, they're like officially dating. They've moved in together and stuff. But yeah, she marries McReba in order to cover up her and Celia's relationship, just in case like people figure out Evelyn's very about her career, Celia's very about her career, but Celia's like, I love you, I don't want to hide it, and Evelyn's like, we're both gonna get blacklisted if we don't. And then she's like, well, I don't care, I don't want you marrying a man just so we can have a relationship. He's like, I'm doing it for you. And like they're fighting, and it's a big thing, and it lasts throughout the whole book. So that's why she marries McReba, and it was like never like a real thing. She married McReba and then divorced him right after. She like married him, had sex with him, and then divorced him right after. So people would still assume that, you know, she's still out looking for men specifically. And then who's the next husband after that? Rex North. I like Rex. Okay, so next is Rex North. He was on set with another movie that I can't remember the name of. I don't know what movie he was on that they were on together, but they got married for literal publicity. They were working on a movie together, and they got married for publicity, so people would, you know, show up and see it. And, you know, they showed like Evelyn's really about her career, so they end up getting divorced because Rex falls in love with another girl. So that's that husband. Who's the next husband? I think it's Harry Cameron. Harry Cameron, ladies and gents. Brilliant, kind-hearted, tortured Harry Cameron. At this point, Evelyn is like 30, and they get married. So, okay, it's like a big four-way. That's not a movie, I'm sorry. It's like, okay, so Harry and Evelyn are best friends, right? They're besties. Evelyn and Celia are lovers, okay? Harry is gay, okay? He's in love with this guy named, what is his name? I know his last name is Brave Man. What is his name? Does his name ever appear? Does his first name ever appear? Celia marries this man, by the way. She marries who Harry loves. And Harry marries who Celia loves. So it's like, I don't know what his name is. Oh my gosh. This is embarrassing. I'm gonna get 0 points for this. John. His name is John. But Harry and John are in love. Evelyn and Celia are in love. Obviously, these couples can't be together. So Celia marries John and Evelyn marries Harry. So they can buy houses next to each other and then just live together. And eventually, you know, Harry and Evelyn have a kid together because, you know, they really want a kid. So they have a kid named Connor. It's a little baby girl named Connor. And it like goes really well for a very, very, very long time. And Celia is, you know, they're still together. They've broken up before because of the fact that, you know, Evelyn wanted to hide. I think they broke up twice before this. And now they're back together and, like, you know, the married thing. So they're back together. And they end up getting divorced because Celia ended up leaving again because of the same reason they fell out in the first place. Evelyn wanted to keep it a secret. Celia did not, and Celia's like, you did not change. You will never change. So she left almost for good. And then she ends up leaving Harry for her new husband, who she genuinely, like, it was the producer that she worked with in France when she had moved in France on Boots and Train. That's the movie name. But he like kisses her in the middle of a McDonald's and like takes her away from all the paparazzi. And he's puts it on note, I love you, please marry me. And his name is Disappointing Max Gerard. And then, you know, she's like, maybe this is Evelyn's like, this might be like my real chance at love. And like, you know, I want to marry him, so I want to divorce you, Harry. So they get a divorce and she marries Max, but on their honeymoon, she realizes that Max really didn't love her. He loved the idea of being with her and the idea of marrying her, the idea of the Evelyn Hugo that he saw on screen, that he saw on set, not the real Evelyn Hugo. So she ends up getting a divorce from him, and it's really bad because he finds out that she's having an affair with Celia again. She's calling Celia up again, and they're all the way in what? They're in New York, I think. They're in New York, and she's all the way in LA. She's like, I'm gonna fly out to LA to see you. And, you know, Max finds out, and he starts calling her homophobic slurs, the D slur. And she's like, and he's like, if you divorce me, I'm gonna tell. So, who's Robert Jameson? Wait, which husband is that? But he's like, I'm gonna tell the entire world that you are gay if you divorce me. So she's like, what is that? So yeah, and then in that time, I think, yeah, she's still married to, or she's not married to anyone at this point. Okay, so she divorced him, not married to anybody at this point. And she ends up marrying another guy. Yeah, and she's cheating because they get divorced. Allegedly. And, you know, her and Celia, they get back together. And allegedly, she's dating Jack Eason, who's like 22, and he's a congressman. And the whole thing was set up by Harry. But I can't remember if she married Robert Jameson. So him and Harry can be together. But yeah, I think so. Yeah, so she ends up marrying Robert Jameson. Does she? No. But she's going to marry the guy that Harry was in love with after John died. Oh my god, this is 25 minutes. Okay, so after John died, she's supposed to marry this new guy that Harry was in love with. He's like, we can make this work again with like you and Celia and me, this new guy. But Harry ends up dying in a car accident. He was drunk, crashed the car, because he was an alcoholic after John died. like weird plot point. He too strong, crashed a car, killed him and the guy and the passenger, his lover, in the back seat or in the passenger seat. So like Harry died. Harry's dead. So they all end up, Evelyn, Celia, and Connor, Evelyn's daughter, they all end up moving to Spain. And then the last husband, agreeable Robert Jameson. She ends up marrying him, who is Celia's older brother, so he can come and to Spain and everything would seem normal. And actually, Robert Jameson, he got a really close, good relationship with Connor, and they were like father and daughter. But obviously it wouldn't be like that because she's like 14 when her real dad died. So that was the last, right? I think that's 7. That was the last one that she died, or that's the last one that she married. Connor ends up dying in the end because she has breast cancer, and then that's like the main thing of the story, like the main plot. She just talks about her failures and successes as an actress, her love affair with Celia, all the 7 husbands that she married, how Don Adler abused her. It was kind of boring. But, yeah. So at the end, Monique's like, okay, what does this got to do with me? And then Evelyn pulls out a piece of paper. It's a letter to Monique. And it's from her dad. And Monique's like, why do you have this? And Evelyn's like, Harry and your dad were in love. Harry and your dad were in love. He killed your dad in the car crash. And Monique's like, what? So she's upset, bro. She's like, I hate you. And that's the whole reason why Evelyn asked Monique to do it was not because of her, her mental prowess, not because of, her ability to write, but because she wanted to come and apologize before she died. Because it turns out Evelyn has breast cancer as well, but she didn't want the breast cancer to take her, so she popped a lot of pills, and So, that's the end of that. She ended up forgiving her in the end, Monique, because she's like, I understand why my dad kept a secret life, because he was gay, but the letter was like, I didn't want to break up my family, I love my family more than anything, and that's why I wouldn't go with Harry. And no, it was a letter, from her dad to Harry, and he's like, I love you so much, but I'm not going to Spain with you, I love my family more than that, and I have a daughter to take care of. So, yeah. And then at the end, she ended up writing the story still after learning all that information. Let's see what else happened. That's literally it. My favorite, okay, even though this book was kind of bad, I ranted about it, and it was, kind of boring. My favorite part about the book that I still kind of think of, I finished this book, 3 weeks ago, and by the way, fun little story, I read this on a plane. I read almost half this book on a plane. Good memories. But let's see, it's when she's talking to David, and he's like, I think we can make this thing work. She's like, I think we can make this thing work. I don't want to give up on us. That's what David says. And she's like, where is it? Oh my gosh, I'm not gonna be able to find it. Oh my god, I swear. Okay, I'm gonna stop it at 31 minutes, okay? Because I feel like I've been talking for too long. But she's talking to her husband or her ex-husband, and she realizes what Evelyn told her about her husband. You know what I mean? Her husband Max, who loved the idea of her. She tells David, this is so powerful. I'm not upset and I'm not sad because I lost you and because I miss you and I miss our marriage. I'm sad because I failed again. And that is so powerful to me. Do you really miss them? Or are you just upset that you failed? And that you didn't want to fail again, but you did. Or do you actually miss them? That's so powerful to me. It's so powerful to me. You know what? I would have given this book 3 stars. But I gave it 3.5 just because of that line, and I really, really, really love that line. Let's see. No, it's before that. It's before that. Oh my gosh. Okay. I have 30 seconds to find it. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, Celia died too, but that doesn't really matter. She died when she was like 70. Bruh, where is it at? Is it this far? What is going on? I can't find it. Just give me 1 second, Miss Garcia. Please, 1 second. 1 second. You can skip this part of the video. Skip this part. Skip this part. Skip it. Oh my gosh. I can't find it. I'm getting upset. I can't find it. But yeah, that's just really favorite part of mine. But anyway, that's my book talk on The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I thought it was gonna be like a murder mystery, but it wasn't, and I'm kind of upset that it wasn't, and I really don't like this book, so I'm gonna put it away. Anyway, what else am I missing? The page number. Right. It's what is it? It's 385 pages. Yeah, that's it. Don't read the book.